So here's what we're going to do. You and me, we're bringing the fun. And rule number 1, stop focusing on all the logistics. Focus on the laughter. I'm not kidding about this. I want you to weave laughter into the logistics. If you did the work ahead of time to plan for fun and to make sure it's fun, it will be fun. And, when I say don't just focus on the logistics, also focus on the laughter, I want to tell you a quick story. So we're hosting Thanksgiving this year, and my husband, thank God, is handling the logistics. And so he put together an email and he, assigned all the things out that everybody was doing. And yeah, bring the dogs and, bring a bathing suit and blah, 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 blah. And everybody replies back, excited to see you. And we're so excited to get together. And so now as the emails are starting to fly, I'm starting to feel excited. But everybody's just kind of commenting on the logistics. We'll be there Thursday. We'll be there Wednesday night. We're going to bring the dog, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, our son Oakley replies. And he replies in all caps, "People, we are going to destroy this feast!" Exclamation point. And I just laughed out loud. That could be you. Why not reply to the family logistics text chain with a hilarious GIF of somebody dancing with a turkey? Why not put in a hilarious photo of somebody in the family? Why not bring the fun? So don't just focus on the logistics. Make sure you focus on the laughter too. Now, let's talk about step 2. How do you stop falling into the, fun will just happen spontaneity category, and you fall into the, I'm going to make this fun thing happen category? Well, let's look at the research. People who are happy do things that make them happy. That's one of those studies where I'm like, yeah, duh. But then you're like, oh, no wonder I'm not happy. I'm not doing anything or prioritizing happiness. They work at things that make them happy. And it makes sense because when you try things that make you happier, you're a happier person. Well, guess what? The exact same research relates to fun. It's seriously so obvious, it's kind of stupid, but let's have some fun with it, right? Let's not be embarrassed. Your life becomes fun when you plan things that are fun to you. Or even with normal things. You just bring a fun attitude like our son did to the email chain. All caps, exclamation, let's go, people. And on that note, I want to share a story with you about the power of bringing the fun, okay? Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Thankfully, we have somebody in our family who's incredible at this. Our oldest daughter, Sawyer, who's 23 years old, this woman always brings the fun. I mean, she is always doing something really fun with her friends. I can give you a few examples. There was one year where she and her friends were out in Breckenridge, Colorado, and I was looking at the photos online, and they were out at bars in these colonial costumes, literally, like think Holly Hobby, bonnets, prairie dress, apron. They had gone on a bar crawl in costume, like looking like women from a colonial era, like Little House on the Prairie. It was such a riot that people all over Breckenridge were stopping them. They were featured on the Breckenridge Facebook page. People were taking photos with them. I mean, talk about bringing the fun. That's hilarious. I mean, I'd never think to order costumes and go on a themed bar crawl. Who does that? Well, apparently people who have fun do that. Another thing that she did recently is we had all of her college friends from Boston College up with their moms for a big mother-daughter weekend. And when we found out that one of the moms, who was a widow, had just gotten engaged to her boyfriend, Sawyer turned to me and said, let's throw a wedding. I'm like, throw a wedding? She's like, yeah, we're going to throw a wedding. And sure enough, impromptu, they made a sash for the mom. We made a veil out of a paper towel, like a long thing of paper towel, and flowers out of like foil. And then we blew bubbles, and we had her daughter, who was wearing this huge foam hat, walk her down the aisle in our living room. And then Sawyer it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Why? She brought the fun. When she heard something, she leaned into it, and we just improv. It was just amazing. And she also did this repeatedly during quarantine. So quarantine was actually a really awesome time for our family once we got over the grieving and we settled into the routine of being together, because our kids brought the fun. Sawyer went through and made an entire chart for the month of March and she came up with theme nights every other night. There was a family Olympics night. There was a bake-off where we divided up into teams and we had to bake desserts, and we also had to dress up as chefs. I mean, it was super fun. But the most fun night was a night that I had never heard of. This is a theme you should steal. I love this. It's an anything but clothes dinner. And what does that mean? I didn't know either. It means you have dinner with your family wearing anything but clothes. You're not supposed to go nude. You are supposed to wear something other than clothes. So Sawyer, for example, took 2 huge king-size pillows and duct taped them all around her. So she put one in the front, one in the back, and then duct taped it. So that was her clothes or her outfit. I can't remember what Oakley wore, and I can't remember what Kendall wore, oddly enough. But I took a champagne bottle box and I put it across my chest. And the way that I fastened it to me is I poked holes in the top of it, and then I put a ribbon around it and hung it like a necklace, and then put duct tape on the side so it stayed in place. And then I made a pair of pants out of brown grocery store garbage bags, like 1 bag per leg, and then taped the front together. Now, Chris's outfit was something. Chris took a rubber pot lid. So, you know how you have like a metal pot lid? Well, somebody gave us once these like kind of rubber lids that you can put on top of dishes like in the summer so that flies can't get them, and it had like a little knob on it. He hung this thing across the front of him in front of his private parts. And that's all he wore, except for a pair of clogs and socks. I mean, when he came down the stairs, I almost had a heart attack. He had basically a pot lid across the front of him with a ribbon around his waist and clogs on. I'll tell you, we have laughed about that moment forever. And every time, we get into a fight, Chris threatens to wear that to the rehearsal dinner for one of our kids' weddings. What you're going to learn is that it's not that hard. It only takes one additional person to cause a major shift with you and have the fun be what everybody remembers. That's what we're going to do this holiday season. In fact, this is called the first follower theory. When you're the one person doing something out of the ordinary, people think you're crazy. Like, think about if you were to go in at the holidays and you're wearing some silly outfit. One of my favorite things to do is to buy themed blazers. You can get them really cheap on Amazon that are just ridiculous. Whether they have turkeys all over them or they have holiday decorations or they blink or whatever. Hilarious. If you're the only one wearing one, you might feel like an idiot. When 2 of you show up, now there's a party. That first follower that joins in with you turns you from you're an idiot to this looks like fun. Same's true about a dance floor, right? The first person that gets up, you're like, ooh, bad dance move. The second one, you're like, maybe I'll go, right? That's how you go from being the lone nut job to being the leader of the fun train, everybody. That's how fun becomes a movement. And so I'm going to take the first follower theory and I'm going to recruit someone to help me. And I want you to do the same. I am going to get our daughter Sawyer on the line because she is the CFO, the Chief Fun Officer of the Robbins family. And so as I get Sawyer on the line, I want you to think of your Chief Fun Officer, the person you're going to drag in to help you. Because if you both are like, come on, guys, everyone will be like, all right. And the fun bus will run the resignation and the cynicism right on over and make sure that fun bus has a damn good music dance party mix too, because that'll also bring the energy up. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we'll be right back because we're going to take a short break. But when we come back, I'm going to introduce you to the CFO, Chief Fun Officer of our family, Miss Sawyer Robbins. Oh, and we're going to talk about how the hell we're going to make our holidays fun. And in the process, we're going to give you some amazing ideas for how you can do the same. Okay, so Soy, thank you for being here because you know what? You are the funniest person in our family. Not only because you have the best sense of humor and you have the wittiest and driest sense of humor, but you also bring the fun. And you make our family so much better because of it. And I just love that about you.
Thank you.
I mean, literally, dude, everything. I mean, the foam hats, your idea. Dinner without clothing, your idea. A bar crawl in colonial costumes, your idea. Throwing a fake wedding, your idea. How the heck did you become so fun?
Um, that is a tough question. Honestly, I feel like first off, I'm just very outgoing and obnoxious. So I think that that kind of plays a role into it. But I think that I have been fortunate enough to be a part of friend groups where all we want to do is have fun and do things that are out of the ordinary. And I don't know, you can always just go to a bar, but it's more fun to dress up as like old women to go there. To just go alone. That's what I was for Halloween. I was a granny.
Can you please describe your costume to everybody? Because I think it's one of the best costumes I've ever seen.
Um, I wore a wig and I got glasses and pearls and I got a cane and I was wearing like a sweater. I don't know. And I looked on probably 15 YouTube tutorials of how to make your makeup look like old women. And so I had like wrinkles all over me and a big mole. So, yeah.
Oh, and you know what other detail I loved?
What?
You had on like New Balance geriatric sneakers and
Oh, yeah, that.
you had a COVID mask hanging from one of those eyeglass things. I mean, the attention to detail. And that's why I wanted to talk to you because this is the first year that our family is hosting Thanksgiving at Ground Zero for Thanksgiving, which is the Southern Vermont house.
Hmm.
And I feel like there are traditions that used to go with the Southern Vermont house when your grandparents owned the house. And now that we are the owners of the house, and this is the first Thanksgiving that we're inviting the extended family to come, that we should probably get really intentional about mixing up the traditions and inserting a lot more fun.
Hmm. That sounds great, honestly.
Why? Do you think that that holidays are normally not that fun?
No, I think they're fun. I love holidays. If I could, I would just have Christmas all year long. But the fact that Thanksgiving is always a good time in when politics are not talked about or money or people's like life. I don't know. I feel like all we talk about is the boring stuff and what everyone does for work. And then Uncle Tom does his accents and everyone laughs and we have the exact same memories told over and over again. And then we go to bed. So I don't know. I'm down for some more fun this year for sure.
I agree. So, can you give me some ideas? Because you're a way more creative thinker than I am. And I remember when we were quarantining, you came up with a chart of themed evenings that we were going to do as a family in order to mix up the doldrum and to create things to look forward to. So, do you have any ideas as our CFO, the Chief Fun Officer of our family, for how we could mix it up this year over the holidays?
Let me, I honestly like, I feel like I'll just spitball. I don't have any in particular, knowing our family, but I think that I think there's ideas that can be super out there and wild. For example, like the anything but clothes dinner, which I really wish honestly didn't happen after dad walked down in a like pedal something over his junk and nothing else.
He had
But
clogs on.
Oh, perfect. But I mean, that was like a little too out there. And we do that with like our friends. And I didn't anticipate you guys taking it that seriously. And God knows I don't want to see our grandmother JJ with a Vouv box over her uplifted tits. But I think that what we could do, which could be like wholesome, is I don't know. I feel like there's a ton of different things. The first thing that came to my mind is this isn't like out there or anything, but I remember we used to like paint pottery a lot when we were up in Vermont. So maybe we could get like a bunch of pottery to paint for everyone or something like wholesome like that. Or we could, I remember you and Amy went to like a flower build or like a flower building thing or
Mm-hmm.
refilling
Yep.
class, something like that.
Yep.
Um, I mean, the obvious dance party, we've done lip syncing battles. I feel like it would get a little, I feel like people would be offended if we did the theme everyone dresses the other person. So I think avoid doing that.
Oh, I like
But
that one.
you like that?
Yes, I do.
So what?
So
I
how do you
dress.
come up with your ideas?
Honestly, like I don't even know. I feel like I get inspiration from like online. I'll see a photo of, for example, like a colonial costume and be like, oh my gosh, it would be so fun to incorporate that into a bar crawl. And then you plan the whole bar crawl and you just make sure. I don't know. I feel like I'm very forceful in these type of ideas. So people don't really have a choice whether they want to dress up or not. And I'm not saying that that's the way to go about it, but I think that every single idea or like fun theme or party idea that I have ever come up with, I just make sure that I go 100% all out so that if you don't do so and you show up to the party or you show up to the bar call, like you're the one who looks out of place. Um, which sounds horrible, but I just feel like if you're the one planning and you're not the one going 100% or even like being super outgoing or rowdy about it and making sure everyone feels comfortable like in and around the group, whoever's participating in it, then it would never work because I feel like anything as the creator, you need to believe in it just as much as anyone else for anyone else to like actually do it.
I absolutely love that. Okay, so takeaway number one from our chief fun officer, Sawyer Robbins, is if you're going to plan something fun and unexpected over the holidays, which we are saying you absolutely should, you got to go all in. You got to be the most excited in order to enroll everybody else. Now, I want to
Mhm.
give everybody a couple ideas because you've been sensational at planning things for our families. So, over the quarantine, everybody, Sawyer made a month-long chart, and on it were themed nights. And so, one of them is the one she regrets, where she made us all show up to dinner wearing anything but clothes. Second one that she did is we did that cooking show where we had a bake off, right? Where you had to make a
Yeah,
dessert.
yeah, that's another actually good idea I feel like for Thanksgiving is instead of like everyone bringing the food to the table and then everyone just eats it, it's fun to like bring all the ingredients to individual's house, etc., and then bake off or cook off or whatever and have a little bit of a competition. And I am severely competitive, so I always love that type of stuff. But I think that gets everyone together and in high spirits, and obviously food brings people together. So that's another fun idea. But yes, we did a bake off. I did not win. I was crushed for days. My mom won and Kendall. I think you guys made like mousse.
Yes.
Me and dad might have like literally bought cookie dough and like had at it. I have no idea.
But the other way that our chief fun officer Sawyer supersized this is we had to be in costume as chefs.
Right.
So another thing that we do as a family that you have planned is we do like these games like Salad Bowl, where you take a big salad bowl and everybody just takes pieces of paper and throws in names. And it could be names that are anything from Mickey Mouse to, the president, to actors, to people in your family. And then you basically divide into two teams and you play the charades game of having to guess how many you can get in a minute. That's a really fun game, brings out the competitive spirit. We've also, with our family over the summer vacation, we have done these family Olympics where you Google yard games, whether it's the balloon toss or the egg races or various yard games. But key to this, Sawyer, again, bringing the fun, makes everybody divide into teams that have a color. And then you got to go all out on the color of your team and the costumes you're wearing for your team. Now, do you have any other ideas? Because I feel like these are kind of in categories, everybody, that there are activities that you can do together. There are games you can play and teams you can break into together. Like, what if this were the year, Sawyer, that we did a huge capture the flag game with the whole family?
Yeah, that would be really fun, actually. That's a great idea. See, look at you.
And go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, well, capture the flag is a great idea, like games, etc. I think that always brings people together. And I think that where what always makes something more fun is, as I'm sure you can see a consistent theme here, is costumes or dress up or something along the lines of not wearing just your regular everyday sweats or clothes or Thanksgiving meal dresses, etc. And so costumes always makes things more fun, as well as decorations. Like, I think if you are able to really deck out your house or even like the Thanksgiving dinner table, it always just makes people feel so much more excited and lively. And if you want to get everyone involved, I've done parties where I ask individuals to bring different types of decorations, and then we all get together and decorate the place together, and then essentially destroy the place, and then I'm the one cleaning it up. But I think that decorations and costumes and obviously music is always a good idea.
Okay. So, how about we plan in real time what our family's going to do with the 14 people that are showing up over Thanksgiving here at our house?
Okay.
What are we doing?
Oh my God, I feel like so put on the spot. Well, I think capture the flag is always a good idea. I think, I mean, we do have the new pool, which would be fun to do like relay races in or something along the lines of that. I think we could, I mean, there's so many different like Olympic-esque games like cornhole or egg tosses or water balloon tosses, whatever. I'm trying to think. I feel, I mean, I think that the best tradition that I like was very young for, but the lip sync battle was very, very fun. And that was one where everyone went super all out. And just basically lip synced and dressed up as each family was a band, etc. And then they sang a song. That was really fun.
What about a karaoke machine? We could rent one.
Yeah.
That's a no. Okay. I feel like no enthusiasm there.
That's like, I mean, I think karaoke's fun when everyone's a bad singer, but I can see that turning into Kendall just taking over.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's true. So do we plan? I'm gleaning a couple things from you. Number one, we need costumes. Number two, we need a planned activity that everybody participates in. Number three, we need directions. And number four, we can't just let this be something that might happen. So we
Mm-hmm.
got to know that people are rolling in Thanksgiving Day. There's going to be the feast. Uncle Tom will do his accents. We'll all laugh. We'll talk about the same stuff. And then when we wake up on Friday morning, all bets are off and it's family Olympics. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. I think that we need to get more creative with the games, or else I think it's never, or it's the worst when we come up with something and we're always really excited about it, but we've done it before. So then when we actually try to do it, it's very half-assed instead of everyone being super involved in everything. So I would advise against Family Olympics just because we have already done that. But even like I know that a lot of our family likes to drink, as does many other people in this world. Like we could do like a cocktail making contest or something where everyone
Oh,
brings their own fixings and makes like a unique drink, and we could do like everyone could make their own drink. So like I could make one, you could make one, and then we could all like try to do that, or we could do it based on family.
that's a cool idea. And since there's a couple people that don't drink, we could force you to have to do an alcoholic and a non alcoholic version, which is actually quite hard.
Yes, absolutely.
I like that as a Thanksgiving thing. That's an assignment per family. Okay, check. We got that one done. Should we have a
Mhm.
pool party?
See, I think it's hard with those. Like, yes, absolutely. But I don't think it's one of those things that you can plan. Like, that just needs to happen naturally. And I think that that's the thing with making fun is it's always fun when it's not super forced. And I think it's one of those things where if you're the only one that wants to have the pool party and then you're sending out all these emails, oh, bring your bathing suit, whatever, and then people aren't really into it, then it's not fun at all. So you need to kind of like make sure a lot of people are into that.
So now let me focus us on the actual Thanksgiving table. Okay. How do we make that more fun? What's your
Hmm.
opinion on adult versus kid tables?
I think that having, well, an adult table, I think it's always, I think every table it's fun to like make creative handmade name tags for everyone, and potentially have like flowers, especially on the adult, like flowers or tree things, or just make it Thanksgiving esque with that type of fall color scheme. I think having, I don't know. Like I feel like having little presents or little, oh, another thing that we used to do is we would have the poppers
Oh, yeah, I love
uh
poppers.
that you pull, like everyone holds them crisscross and you pull those are always fun. Having like crowns, or
Oh, I like
I
the
forget,
idea of what if we make our own crowns
yeah,
to
that
wear?
would be fun.
Or you get assigned a crown to make for somebody else to wear at the table. I like that.
Oh, I like that too.
Let's do that.
Yeah, that's a great
You pull
idea.
a name out of the hat and you got to make somebody a crown to wear at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, that's done. Um, what about a question? I was recently at a dinner party and Maxine, who was hosting the party with her husband Andrew, asked a table of 10 people, tell us about the very first apartment you lived in. And it was kind of surprising. Everybody had a really crazy story about the very first apartment they lived in. Is there a question that we could ask all 14 family members that would bring some fun and would shake things up?
Huh. I think that's a fun question, except we do have younger kids, so obviously some of us, or not me, but others haven't had their own apartment. Um, maybe, I don't know. I always think it's hilarious to hear like people's first kiss, but I know that
Ooh, let's do
that
that.
can make people uncomfortable if they haven't had their first kiss.
Who hasn't had their
Um,
first kiss in our family?
I don't know. I don't want to call anyone out, but just like younger kids. I'm trying to think. Like, if you, oh, here's a good one. If you could plan if money was not an option and you could plan a trip for our entire family, where would we go? What would we do? That type of thing. And then everyone can go around and say that.
That's fun. See, what's
Mm.
happening when you plan this stuff is that you're creating an environment for fun. You're creating ways for people to connect in a different manner than how we normally show up. Because I don't know about you, but even with our family of 5, when all 5 of us are home, it's super exciting and really amazing for the first day.
Mhm.
And then literally by the next morning, everybody's back in their old roles. Do you feel that?
Yeah, totally. Totally. Going off of the question thing, another thing you could do is we could create like a big bowl of interesting questions on like pieces of paper and fold them and then hand everyone one at the table, or that people can like pick randomly. And so then everyone has a different random question that they can answer.
Great idea. Great idea.
But yeah, the first day is always, oh, it's so great to see you. What have you been up to? And then the second day turns into either boring or I hate you all.
Uh-oh.
No. No, I don't know. I just think it's always really hard to come back for the holidays with the family, and it's exciting at first, and then by the end of it you're like, okay, I'm ready to get back to my regular routine.
You're right. I wanted to talk to you today because our family gets into this rhythm when we come together where we deeply love each other. We're all excited for the first day. And then by the time the second day rolls around, everybody is in their own corners. Everybody's staring at their phones. Everybody's grouchy because they want to go see their friends instead of hanging out with us as a family. And nobody can agree on what we're going to do together. And I don't want the holidays to be like that this year. How's that for a clap? Welcome to a holiday edition of the Mel Robbins Podcast. This is going to be the holiday season where you and I open our hearts. We uncross our arms, we drop the expectations, and we pull up in the frickin' fun bus. We bring it, people. We destroy this feast.